All right, hey everybody, we are here. We are live. This is Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. I'm Sean,
I'm Kenny.
I'm Jim.
and we have our special guest tonight. It is Mike from Mike's DVD and Blu-ray collection.
You guys,
Welcome back, Mike.
thank you. Thank
Oh, you see, we got you back on muffled.
you. Oh, is it?
Yep,
Oh,
and we've got everybody in the chat room. We've got
hello.
Texas and Mr. Dan. Hey, Mr. Dan. Hey,
What's up,
Texas.
guys?
James, welcome aboard. Good evening. And tonight is our special Oscar Stunner show where we're going to be going through what we think are the biggest surprises and snubs from the Academy Awards from any time. It doesn't matter when it happened. I know a lot of people were surprised, and there were some snubs from this year's. And I have a couple from this year, but most of mine are in the past, and I'm sure everybody else has more from the past than this year. But we'll get right to it. I don't know how we want to do this. I'm just kind of thinking about how we want to do this. I know we usually go around the channel, around the screen, and kind of do round robin type of thing. But how do you guys think we want to do this week?
Well, we could do the round robin thing. That's fine with me.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to start off with like actors or movies or snubs or what you want to do as far as that goes.
Yeah, because I don't know how you guys wrote yours down or picked yours. I just sort of randomly started writing them down.
That's what I did too.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah.
I started with actors.
That works for me.
Okay. Yeah,
I've been holding on to some of these grudges for like 30 plus years.
It's
Do
time
we want to start with you, Jim?
Yeah, we're going to start with you then.
There will be blood tonight. Okay.
Yes. So I'll share what I did. You guys can share how you did yours. I just wrote down. I just went through and found a snub or something that happened in a particular year, and then I went through that year and maybe found a surprise that happened that year. And if I couldn't, then I found another snub that maybe happened that year. And if I couldn't, then I just went to another year.
Okay.
And I don't even know how many I have.
That's good. Like I said, I had a very concise list of stuff, and now I can't find it because I switched vape pens and my brain isn't working. So bear with me.
So I have 17 total.
Wow.
But they're all. What's that, Kenny?
I have 2 pages full.
Okay, cool. So we have a lot to cover, and like I said, I told Mike through comments on Instagram that we're probably going to have a lot to talk about. So we might not even get to all mine, much less everybody's.
All mine, yeah.
Not to
Definitely
mention,
not
we
gonna
might
do
have
all
some
of
on
them.
the same lists.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm sure
true.
we do. I'm sure we do.
Because I know for a fact one that's going to be on your list, Sean.
Oh, I'm sure. I have a lot that's on your list.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you want to start this?
You can go first. And
Okay.
Texas is already impatient. So
Okay, well then I will start with the one that's been bugging me the most for probably the longest.
All right.
And it's an acting category for one of my favorite all-time performances, and the guy wasn't even nominated. And that is Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
Oh wow.
I didn't even have that one.
I don't have that one.
That to me is one of the best. It's definitely his best performance in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people get lost in the goop and don't
Yep.
really understand the performance that he's doing under that goop. Sometimes it's over the top, like, because it's Jeff Goldblum. You got to do the, certain mannerisms in this net. But he does a lot of very subtle work
Oh yeah.
in that movie that a lot of people just don't appreciate the first time around.
Absolutely.
And it's been bugging me for years. If that performance was in anything but a horror movie, he would have been nominated. But because it was that gross ass horror movie back then, flash forward today, okay, if the fly came out today, he'd be getting just as much acclaim as Demi Moore is getting in The Substance.
Yep.
I mean, they're different animals, but they're still gory horror movies, and now they're getting acclaim, whereas back in the 80s especially, they did not. So Jeff Goldblum in The Fly to me is one of the best performances of that era, and he wasn't even nominated.
Well, Jim, the way you're saying that, it kind of reminds me of John Hurt in Elephant Man.
Yes, but he was nominated.
Yeah, he was nominated. But yeah, what I'm saying is, that was a drama.
Yep.
That was sci-fi.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I understand what you're saying about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. He did a lot of those like sort of facial, like I could just. There's one part in the movie where he just he like twitches,
the little ticks and stuff.
Yeah, totally, like a fly does.
The way he just does, and it's not over the top. It's just it's very subtle, but it works. And yeah, I love that performance.
And I was going to call you out for saying that it's been bugging you for a long time, but
yeah. No pun intended.
Try to veal.
I'm not that clever.
No, that's an excellent pick. That's a great one. I totally agree with you. I didn't even think of that one, but I
didn't either.
Who won that year? Do you know?
That would have been 80. Well, it would have been for 86, but the award ceremony would have been 87.
Right.
Because that was the year that Sigourney was nominated for Aliens, and she didn't win either. Shit. Who won that year?
Newman.
See, I had all this list up here.
Paul
I'm
Newman,
sure whoever won
money.
was a fine performance. I'm not disputing that, but to me, that was the best performance of that year. And I'm going to have another one of those coming up next if somebody else doesn't take it before that, because Mike might take that one.
Yeah.
So you're saying the 86 awards or 87?
Well,
it was 87.
It would have been 1987 awards, but it was from the releases of 86.
Okay.
Paul Newman, fellow money.
Okay. And again, not to jump on anybody's parade, but that, as great as that performance is, to me, that was like an achievement award for Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Because he had been nominated so many times and had been shut out. And to me, he should have won for The Verdict.
Yep.
To me, that's one of his best performances, but that's neither here nor there. I understand why he got nominated, and I understand why he why he won that year. Okay.
Right.
But you can't tell me that performance was better than Goldblum's in The Fly.
Nope.
To me, it's not.
I totally agree with you. All right. Since we typically go clockwise, Mike, you would be
Mike.
What are we saying? Actors or
whatever
you want.
I think a big snub was in 1990. Goodfellas didn't get.
That's my all-time one that pisses me off.
Yeah, and then Martin Scorsese should have took the director down the line, acting, directing, cinematography, all that it should have been the big blockbuster, but it was like Driving Miss. No, wait a minute. 1990 was Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, 89. I always thought Driving Miss Daisy was just.
Yeah.
It's like why was that such a big movie? Why was that so? You know what I mean? Because it's. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe somebody likes it. I don't know. It was a head scratcher for me, but I was also 12, or something. So. But yeah, I would say just the whole shutdown of Goodfellas that one year, because I maybe won some stuff. I'm trying to remember.
Pesci won.
Pesci won.
Yeah, Pesci won for Best Supporting Actor.
Yep.
Okay.
And it might have won for editing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've got the nominations and everything pulled up here, so I'm looking to see what else it won.
But yeah, you're right. I've been pissed off about Dances with Wolves beating Goodfellas for years. Every time Goodfellas comes up or Dances with Wolves comes up on my channel, I bitch about it.
Yeah. I like Dances with Wolves too, though. But
I do too. But it's not Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I mean, Goodfellas to me is stood the test of time.
Role at that point.
Yeah.
And
that was. I guess that was a good year for nominations. I guess I don't know, or just. I don't know. I like them both, but I think Goodfellas should have took it and everything. It should have been Scorsese's year because, he had done so much good stuff up to there, and then after that whole controversy with Last Temptation, of all the flack he got and all that with that, and so now that would have been a comeback a little bit. Like he did this movie, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
well, the thing about Goodfellas is it was very critically praised, but it didn't do the box office as Wolves did.
Yeah.
But that's just it. You jump forward, 35 years, and you poll 100 people, which movie is better? I guarantee the majority of them are going to go with Goodfellas. I'm not saying that everybody would, but the majority of them are going to go with Goodfellas.
I totally
and plus
agree.
the replay value of it too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I own
what
them.
would you rather watch, a 3-hour epic, you know, with Kevin Costner, or you want to watch somebody get the shit beat out of them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Goodfellas across the board. Just I don't know. It should have won. Yeah. I mean, they're both good movies, but you know, it's such a legendary movie now. You know, that more younger people even discover it than say Dances with Wolves, and you see the memes and all that stuff. So,
yeah, it's my favorite gangster movie of all time.
Yeah,
I rank it above Godfather.
Yeah, I do too. And
I do too. But that's not my favorite gangster movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Godfather 2, though. Over.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
Kenny, your favorite gangster movie is, and don't say Johnny Dangerously.
No, it's A Bronx Tale.
Oh, yeah, that's a good movie.
I love that. I could watch that more times than I could watch, you know, and I think it has more like redeeming value than Goodfellas. The relationship between Sonny and the kid.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, I mean
and the whole thing with
that's apples and oranges, though.
Yeah,
because basically everybody in Goodfellas is a piece of shit, including the hero.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of degree. You know, as far as how terrible these people are.
The thing about it is Sonny's a real piece of shit too, but he's trying to teach the kid, you know, life lessons. You know, so I find that more redeeming than Goodfellas.
Well, there's no redemption in Goodfellas. That's
no,
they're all kind of the point.
All
you know,
pitiful people.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because even Ray Liotta, you know, he turns tail or whatever, and he gets out, but now he's nobody. You know, he's a schmuck, and that's literally how it ends. You know, so yeah.
Well, that year I looked it up. I mean, they even nominated Godfather Part 3, which nobody anymore, and you know, it was never good. It was always panned. You know, from the start, and still panned.
Yeah, Andy Garcia got nominated for Best Actor for Godfather 3. And you know how many people talk about Andy Garcia in Godfather 3 today?
He's probably the best thing about that movie, though.
True.
You know, except for the one scene with
first
Pacino.
thing I think of Andy Garcia is Untouchables.
Yeah, he's better in the Untouchables.
I completely forgot he was in Godfather 3 until I was going through the nominations. I was like, what? Okay. he was the young Michael character.
Right.
You know? So it was just like it's funny when you're going through these nominations, you forget about these, you know, these actors, you know, in their spots, you know.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
I was gonna say one thing that I noticed going through some of these, that, you know, at the time some of these movies were so huge when they won, and then they just totally disappeared. Like culturally, they just vanished.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not on my surprise list, but I've talked about it before. That movie, The Artist, it won Best Picture. It was on everybody's list. I hadn't seen it when it came out, but I saw it last year.
Great movie.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why doesn't anybody talk about this movie? It's fantastic, but it just won and disappeared.
Yeah. And I don't remember what it was nominated against that year, but I don't know if that to me was the Best Picture.
Yeah. I don't know either, but it was a great
movie, though, you know.
All right, Kenny, what you got?
All right, the one that's been bothering me, and it'll be now 30 years, is Debbie Reynolds not getting nominated for Mother.
That's a great one.
Wow.
That is such a great performance. And even Albert Brooks in that. I think the movie should have been nominated too.
Yep.
But Debbie Reynolds' performance in Mother was just outstanding. I mean,
a great pick.
me and my mom even talked about the ice when he's going to get the mom. Look at the freezer. There's freezer burn on top of the ice cream, and she's like scraping it off, and she goes, "It's still good. It's God protecting the ice cream."
It's the protective shell.
It's the protective shell. That's it. I just always remember that and smile because my mom did the same thing. If there was ice cream in the freezer that we had forgot about, it was all the way in the back, and she goes, "It's God protecting the ice cream." So it's like, and we watched it together too. It was like a Mother's Day kind of thing, and every time it just brings a smile just to perform her performance. And I cannot believe she got a Golden Globe nomination, but she didn't get an Oscar nomination.
Yep.
And I thought that was absolutely criminal.
That's another good one. I didn't pick that one either, but that's a total travesty that she wasn't even nominated. And that the scene where they're looking for a parking space in that movie, because I saw the movie with my mom too, and my mom and I were in tears, cracking up watching that. It was fantastic. Just that movie's great. I'm way overdue for a watch. I picked up the Criterion Collection version not too long ago, and I'm way overdue for a watch.
Yeah,
it's a great movie. Oh, I guess it's my turn, huh?
Your turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I don't have any that I've been sitting on for 30 years waiting to let loose like you guys have. But one that kind of bothered me is Steve Buscemi not being nominated for Best Actor in Fargo.
Yeah.
Even though, or not Best Actor in a supporting role for Fargo, and the fact that Cuba Gooding Jr. won for Jerry Maguire, and he basically played himself. That really bothered me. Steve Buscemi and William H. Macy was nominated, and the two of them were great in Fargo. Fargo was a fantastic film, but Buscemi, you can't think of that movie without thinking of Buscemi.
Right.
And he gets shot in the face and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So him and Macy made that movie. And the fact that he wasn't even nominated, I can't get over that. And the fact that Cuba Gooding Jr. won for Jerry Maguire, of all things, that kind of grinds my gears. So that's probably the thing that bothers me the most. That's my snub, my big snub. But I haven't really been sitting on that for 30 years. I've got other ones, but that one surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally there with you on that. I cannot argue with that at all. And that's kind of, I like Cuba Gooding Jr., but I mean, that's not even his best performance.
No.
Boys in the Hood was much better performance than Jerry Maguire,
Right. Yeah, I don't even see how that garnered a nomination.
That movie was just one of those feel-good movies that year, kind of swept through everything. I mean, Tom Cruise was nominated, so was Zellweger. I mean, everybody but the kid with the giant head.
True. Yeah, Victor says Jerry Maguire is my favorite movie, so I have no complaints, but I agree. Fargo was a great movie. Him and Macy should have been recognized more than just McDormand. And she did deserve to win. Yeah.
She wins every time she's up, and usually she deserves it,
Absolutely.
I loved her in 3 Billboards. I thought she was incredible in that movie. Fantastic. I didn't see Nomadland, but
I didn't either, not yet.
But yeah, in Fargo, she's awesome in Fargo.
Yeah,
she really is.
Fantastic.
Okay, is it my turn?
It is.
Okay, we're gonna go a little bit outside of the box here. 1985. Best Picture winner that year, Out of Africa. Beautiful movie.
Yep.
Well acted movie.
But
well made movie. Boring piece of shit. Okay. But I'm looking at the 5 nominees for Best Picture that year. Okay. Out of Africa, The Color Purple, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Prizzi's Honor, and Witness. How many of you guys have even seen all of those movies? If you've seen all 5, Kenny?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
I've seen them all except I did see Out of Africa. What was the one before?
Kiss of the Spider Woman,
Yeah,
Color Purple, Prizzi's Honor, and Witness.
Yeah, I think I don't remember if Pritzi's on or if I've watched it.
That was Kathleen Turner and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, and again, that movie's great because of the acting, you know. But I saw it, I liked it at the time. I couldn't tell you a thing about it other than who was in it.
Yeah, it's been totally forgotten. Even Out of Africa, just nobody remembers that.
No. Kiss of the Spider Woman, okay, which is being remade right now, as a matter of fact, with Jennifer Lopez in it. Again, it's a fine movie. It's nothing that I would think of 30 years later as being a great movie, okay? The Color Purple and Witness, to me, are the only two movies that deserve to be on that list.
Yep.
And I will give you 3 movies, to me, that could have fit the other 3, including what should have won that year.
All right.
To Live and Die in L.A.
Yep.
Fantastic. Yep.
Brazil.
Yep.
And The Winner. And again, if it was released now, it would have won. Back to the Future.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you see what Victor just said? Back to the Future was a better potential.
Absolutely. Okay. But at the time, Back to the Future was just considered a blockbuster, lightweight movie.
Yep.
But you jump forward, like I said, in this case, 45 years or 40 years rather.
Yep.
Ask people, hey, you like Out of Africa? And they'll say, what? But if you say, hey, you like Back to the Future? Oh my God, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Absolutely.
Well, Pollock won the fucking Oscar for that movie.
Yes.
It's a beautiful movie.
It is
I
a beautiful, well-made
sleep
piece
in the movies
of shit that is
that.
boring. It really is. It's just boring. I mean, it is a beautiful movie. Boring as hell. I mean, I remember at the time, even the women were coming out of that movie going, my God, that was a boring movie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just
I seen it on a date and I fell asleep.
Yeah. So
I was in high school. I'm not kidding you. I fell asleep during it. She had to wake me up. It was over.
Yeah. But like I said, To Live and Die in L.A. wasn't nominated for anything.
That's sad.
Nothing. And I mean, that car chase alone should have gotten it an editing Oscar. I mean, it's just...
Peterson was great in that movie.
In Brazil, like I said, at the time, I didn't like Brazil. But that movie has really stood the test of time. And it's become a much bigger movie now than it was then.
Yeah, big cult favorite now. But yeah.
So there's my rant for 1985.
I think it just looks like an Oscar winner. You know, this is, I mean, it doesn't, like, people saw it and they're like, oh, it's beautiful, but it didn't stick with them, and it's forgotten now,
No, I mean, even Meryl Streep hates that movie.
Really?
She did an interview, and even she was like, hey, I had a great time working with the people, and it was beautiful working in Africa and this and that, but that movie's a piece of shit. I mean, even she says it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Mr. Dan says Defoe was great in To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah, he's incredible in that movie.
Yeah, I love
Victor
that.
says Sidney Pollack did a movie that was much better like 3 years earlier called Tootsie. It made me laugh.
Well, we're going to be
asleep.
getting to that one in a couple of minutes on my next go around if somebody else doesn't take it.
Yeah.
All righty. Mike, what you got?
Well, I think I'm going to go and officially say Driving Miss Daisy. It just so dumb. It was just it was so dumb. It was just popular. It's like, come on, there's something better, guys. It's kind of like when Metallica got nominated. At the
Jethro Tull got
Jethro Tull.
It's like, what is that? What is that? Like, this is the first time this is being nominated. A winner for heavy metal or what, hard rock or whatever.
It was heavy metal.
Yeah, it was heavy metal.
And it's like that ticket. So it's just one of those, head scratching moments. It's like, I don't know. It's like who is, it's like Out of Africa, Driving Miss Daisy. Who?
Yeah, I don't want to watch either one.
Certain people do, but I don't know. I'm being mean to those movies, but
no, you're not.
Not really.
Not in this dojo.
No.
All right.
Yeah, the fact that it beat Born on the 4th of July and Dead Poets Society is ridiculous. And Field of Dreams, for that matter, which I personally love. I mean,
what was the 5th movie?
My Left Foot.
Okay, even that one I would watch over
Driving
Miss Daisy at this point.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis. I think he won.
Yeah, and he deserved it. That's a really good performance.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I was behind Born on the 4th of July when I was watching it. I was kind of thinking, Oliver Stone's going to take this because of so much from Platoon. He's got such a thing now, the vibe, and Tom Cruise. I mean, he did a good performance too. I mean,
Tom Cruise is great in that movie.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of thought that was going to go that way, and it didn't. So I was kind of let down on that.
Yeah. I'm surprised though that Dan Aykroyd was nominated for Best Actor in a supporting role for Driving Miss Daisy,
because that was his first dramatic role, and people were like, "Holy shit, he can be dramatic,"
Right.
Yeah,
Bill Murray got a nomination for Tootsie for Best Supporting Actor. A lot of people forget that.
Oh, I forgot that.
I forgot that too.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. There we go. Yeah. I'm learning stuff. You got to stop doing that, Jim.
Hey.
Hey, Anthony. All right. I'm up. Mine is from 1972. John Cazale for not be snubbed for Godfather 2.
Yeah. He was really good.
Yeah.
He was fantastic in that movie. Did I say 72? 74. 74 is Godfather 2. Sorry.
Well, and also, whatchamacallit, he was in, that was really good, Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, John Cazale, is what you were saying. But yeah, he was 5 for 5. He was only in 5 movies.
Yeah, ain't that unbelievable?
Yeah, and all 5 of them are classics. He was in the 2 Godfather movies. He was in Dog Day. He was in Deer Hunter, and he was in The Conversation.
Oh, wow. What a track record.
Yeah, and they're all so good.
They're all classics. 5-star movies. Everyone.
I just watched The Conversation the other day.
That's a great movie.
Like,
that's such a great movie.
It hit me a different way because I each time you watch, you maybe pick up on something, and it was really good. I mean, I was just
Cindy Williams was great in that movie. Yeah. She's always known for Laverne and Shirley, but she was very good in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
You're up, Sean.
All right, let's see.
17.
Well, let me go to another snub. Amy Adams not receiving a Best Actress in a Leading Role nomination for Arrival.
Yes.
In 2017.
Holy shit, she wasn't nominated for that, was she? No, she wasn't. Wow, that's right.
She's been nominated like 5 or 6 times and hasn't won, I think.
Yeah, and she was infinitely better than Meryl Streep in Florence Foster Jenkins, which I think was just a cast off. Yeah, she gets Meryl Streep. Oh, she was in a movie, automatic nomination. But I've got more on Arrival, so I'm gonna throw this out there too. Arrival was nominated for and won Best Sound Editing, but it was also nominated for Best Sound Mixing, Best Directing, Best Film Editing, Best Cinematography, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Picture. And remember what this movie was about, right?
Right.
It was not nominated for Best Visual Effects.
Wow.
Yeah,
that probably went to a Marvel movie.
The whole premise was built around contact with alien life forms.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Probably went to a Marvel movie or something that year.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I had no idea she wasn't nominated, though. I completely forgot about that. That blows my mind because she's great in that movie.
Yeah, she really is. She's fantastic, and it is probably her best performance in her career.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And let's see what did win for best visual effects that year. The Jungle Book.
Actually, the visuals in The Jungle Book were pretty damn good that year.
Okay, I didn't see it, but
out of all the Disney remakes that they made, live action versions, that's the only one I like.
Okay,
I hate them all except for that one.
Okay,
so I'm not saying it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it's
right.
And the visuals in that are pretty damn good.
Okay, I've seen still photos. I have not seen the movie at all.
Yeah, Bill Murray as Baloo is actually pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. You got a Bill Murray theme going tonight, Jim.
I like Bill Murray. You know, I mean, I heard the guy's a real asshole, but I still like him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up.
Yep.
I'm going to go with another snub, and I'm going to say it before my good friend Mike there does, you know, the Western guy. But how in God's green earth did Val Kilmer not get nominated for Tombstone?
No.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know,
that was, he should have. Yeah,
that I mean, that movie's entire cast is stacked, and they're all bringing it. You know, everybody. There's not one person in that movie that's bad. But Val Kilmer, that's his best performance in a career full of great performances. You know, most people talk about The Doors, you know, and he's great in The Doors. You know, he channels Jim Morrison really well.
Absolutely.
Doc Holliday, though, that to me is the quintessential Val Kilmer performance. He is just so good in that movie. That scene with the shot glass alone, you know, it's just so good, you know. So
there's been a lot.
That one's been bugging me for a long time. So yeah, Val Kilmer for Tombstone for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Doc Holliday performances over the years by different actors, and he still stands out the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Every version of that story has been about Wyatt Earp. Okay. But Tombstone, Doc Holliday steals the damn movie. I mean, without a doubt. You care more about him than you do about anybody else. It's just he is so good in that.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have got that.
Yep. Another great one.
I guess I'm next.
Yep.
I want to do Raging Bull gets snubbed as Best Picture 1980 over that one movie.
Ordinary fucking people.
Ordinary People. I mean, it was a serious subject and it was a really sad movie and stuff, but man, overall, Goodfellas from start to finish, every bit of that movie just is so, you know,
it's a masterpiece.
The music, the cinematography, the acting, what Robert De Niro went through for the role, you know, losing weight, gaining weight. That's a big snub that hangs out.
That's on my list.
Yeah.
That one's on my list.
I had a feeling. No, that's a great
masterpiece.
Pick. Yeah.
You know, nothing against Ordinary People. Okay, because it's a good movie. It's got great performances in it. You know, it was definitely the breakout role for Timothy Hutton. You know, he won an Oscar for it. But Raging Bull's a masterpiece. I mean, it really is.
Yep. Totally agree.
I have two.
Well, I'm sorry. I was going to say, and the other movie, another one of those forgettable ones. You know, like it didn't go 20, 30 years, and people kept talking about it and stuff. But
no, you talk to most people, you know, younger at least. Most of them have never even heard of that movie, but they have at least heard of Raging Bull.
Yeah.
All right, I have two from the same movie, and I think they should have been nominated. Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins for Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I could see both of that. You know, her for Best Actress, him for Best Supporting.
I mean, you talk about it like between it's either Major League or Bull Durham, and like the baseball players like Bull Durham a lot better, like a quotable.
It's more realistic.
Yeah, it's like I mean because I think that's why Costner got such the favorable with Dancing with the Wolves, because he had Untouchables, Bull Durham, Feel
No
the
Way
Dreams,
Out.
and then
Feel the Dreams.
And
No
Way Out's a great movie.
Yep.
You know, but he was on that career role right there, that late 80s role, and I think that just steam driven him over there. But I mean, Susan Sarandon, I mean, she's the ultimate groupie, you know, and Tim Robbins being Nuke Lelouch, you know, there's always, you know, they always bring that up if you watch a baseball game. Oh, you know, and they always bring up the Tim Robbins character in Bull Durham on baseball broadcasts. So those two just seem to be like really overlooked that year.
Yep, he's got $1 million arm and a 5-cent brain.
Yeah, and when he's wearing the garters on the mound, you know,
breathe through your eyelids.
So those were another two that were overlooked that always bothered me, especially Sarandon for that role.
She's great in that movie.
Yeah,
great
really
boobs.
She's sexy as hell in that movie.
Yeah,
hey, I'm sorry, man.
She is. No, I'm telling you, she is.
I was 20
man.
years old when I saw that movie, and I was like, she was a MILF, and it was like, holy shit.
I didn't know what a
man.
MILF was, but I was like, holy hell, that's
I
awesome.
think she still is. I think
Yeah.
she still is.
Oh, yeah,
Now
she's
a
almost
gilf.
80.
Yeah, now she's a gilf.
She was on an episode of Mike and Molly, rolling around with Melissa. I know you guys don't like Melissa McCarthy, but she was
I don't like
rolling
sitcoms,
around,
so.
and she's like, "Oh, I want a little piece of that." And I mean, this woman's 75 years old, and she looks great. You know,
I'd buy that for $1.
So, go ahead, Sean. You're up, dude.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm going to drop one of these, and I know it's going to take one of these off of Jim's list, but I'm sorry, Jim.
That's all right. I still love you, Sean.
Forrest Gump winning Best Picture over Pulp Fiction and
obviously.
Yes.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
Great movie. I like the movie, but again, culturally, I would watch Shawshank Redemption or Pulp Fiction 500 times over Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Because when it comes down to it, Forrest Gump, to me, is a gimmick movie. I mean, it's got its place. Don't get me wrong, but Pulp Fiction and Shawshank are just way more gritty. They've got more to say. There's just more meat to them.
Yeah, they're more cinematic.
There's a very much so, yeah.
Cinematic and a crowd pleasers.
Right.
People really love these movies, but they're also breaking ground, and like especially Pulp Fiction. He was Tarantino.
Just turn it around when you go back and look at them. There's just much more to look at under the microscope for either one of those two. And Stacy said in the comments, she said that she'd go for Quiz Show.
Quiz Show. I would even take Quiz Show over.
I would take Quiz Show over Forrest Gump as well.
And that movie's hard to find now.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's a great movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is.
But yeah, that was a big one, and it totally surprised me. I didn't realize, because I saw Shawshank later. I know it's hard to believe after last week's show that I've seen a movie.
No,
late.
most people. Oh, you mean like later in life, not not theatrically. Okay, I got you.
But I saw Pulp Fiction in the theater, and I saw Quiz Show in the theater, and I saw Forrest Gump in the theater. But I didn't realize that Shawshank was as good as it was until a little bit later, and I didn't realize that they were all nominated the same year, and that's just crazy. I just can't believe it.
Yeah,
so,
no, 94 was a
year.
weak year, but it's top heavy. It's got some great stuff at the top,
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and the way I always looked at it was like, because you know me, that was when we were originally talking about this topic. That was what I was bitching about, because to me, Pulp Fiction was a game changer. And Shawshank is a masterpiece.
Yes.
And Forrest Gump is neither. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I still like it, but I don't love it like I do those other two movies.
Yeah.
Not even close.
No.
It was like a gimmick, Sean. It was kind of a gimmick movie. But what was that? Have you ever seen Zoolander? Remember Ben Stiller does this character or something in it where he's kind of playing on Forrest Gump or something. It was pretty funny. What was his name?
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Simple Jack. Never go full retard.
Yeah.
Dumb simple ass Jack. Dumb motherfucking simple ass Jack. Which he was nominated for that. Robert Downey. Which that would never happen today, but oh my God, he is so good in Tropic Thunder.
I actually had that on my surprises list. I didn't realize he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Yeah,
and actually that would have made my list for the big snubs, but that's the year that Heath Ledger won for Joker, and it's like, you know what, I can't bitch about that performance. Heath Ledger was pretty damn good as the Dark Knight, or as the Joker in the Dark Knight, but
absolutely.
But yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is friggin' brilliant. in Tropic Thunder, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was going through the list of nominees for 2009 because that movie came out in 2008. Because I have a snub from 2008, and I saw he was nominated. I'm like, holy shit, he was nominated for that! Oh my god! So yeah,
that's another fun movie to watch people react to.
Yeah,
because when they first see him, either they don't realize it's Robert Downey, or once they do, they start freaking out because he's like, "Oh my god, he's wearing blackface!" And it's like,
right,
that's the joke.
Right.
Don't get
The whole
offended.
point.
That's the joke.
Right.
Yeah. It was kind of shocking even then, but nowadays it was like, oh, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to watch the movie to kind of know.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And Tom Cruise is friggin' hilarious in that movie too. In the fat
absolutely.
suit is doing his Harvey Weinstein impression. I mean, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that's a great movie. But I digress. Anyway, Forrest Gump.
You got me going on Simple Jack. Is what it was. Dumb fucking simple ass Jack.
You're
okay.
Too.
We'll go back to my snubs. Somebody that wasn't nominated, and I've talked about this before, so it'll be nobody's surprise. Toni Collette for Hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
Not even nominated. Whether you like that movie or not, because I know a lot of people do not like that movie. They think it's an artsy fartsy slow movie, whatever the hell they call it. She's incredible in that movie.
Yes, she is.
And she's incredible in every movie, but she's really incredible in that movie. And again, not even a sniff of the nomination.
I think she is one of the most overlooked actresses working today. I mean, she can play anything.
Yep.
Somebody who can be in a movie like Hereditary and put on a performance like that and then turn around, and I'm not praising the movie by any stretch of the imagination, but can carry a movie like Mafia Mama.
Right.
Which is not a stamp of approval for the movie, but she can make it convincing and then turn around and do something else. I can't even think of another role she's done.
Knives Out.
So she was in that movie you turned me on to with
Which one?
Steve Carell, where she was the mom, where they go to the Funland fun. The
way back.
Way
back. She was the mom.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally
she's
forgot.
one of those actresses
like a
that
chameleon.
just kind of, she's so good all the time that you kind of take her for granted.
Yeah. She's always good.
Yeah.
She's always good. So yeah, she should have been nominated for Hereditary. Absolutely.
Nice.
That performance knocks it out of the park.
Is it me?
Yep.
It's you.
I'm gonna go 98. They did the Saving Private Ryan didn't win Best Picture, but it won Best Director.
Yep.
Usually they go hand in hand most of the time, but it's like Steven Spielberg wins an Oscar for that, for directing but the picture, which I think was the best of all the ones nominated that year, and
certainly better than Shakespeare in Love.
Like I've never even seen that yet. There's a lot of them I just weren't interested in, and still not. Like, maybe I would check it out, but I don't know. Sorry, my dog is freaking out.
He's mad too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've heard this. Victor says that Harvey Weinstein bought the Best Picture award, and that's why it won.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Shakespeare in Love is not a bad movie.
Mm-mm.
It's certainly not a great movie.
No.
And Saving Private Ryan is a great movie.
Yes.
So, excellent pick, Mike.
Yeah, what was that up against for Best Picture?
Like
Shakespeare in Love, Elizabeth, Life is Beautiful, and The Thin Red Line. I've seen all of those except The Thin Red Line.
Yeah, and that movie, let me get a hold of that movie with editing equipment, and I'll make it into a great movie, because that movie's 3 hours long, and it should be about 2:10 tops.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good movie, but it is very long.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, I understand what he's trying to get at, but there are so many scenes where it's just long, lingering shots of nature and narration going on that makes no sense and has nothing to do with the fucking movie and shit, But when they're actually involved in the actual story, it's great. It really is.
Yeah, that's how Terrence Malick does that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why Badlands is the only one of his movies that I really like.
Yeah, but yeah, that's.
Oh, and Days of Heaven. I forgot about Days of Heaven. That movie's pretty damn good too.
Yeah. Stacy's got a comment for you. Shakespeare in Love deserved a win over Saving Private Ryan. That movie is a real slog, and I don't even like the beach invasion scene either.
That's a hot take of the night.
That's a hot take right there.
Loses all momentum as the movie goes on, where Shakespeare in Love builds as it goes. All the Save Private Ryan a real slog, and the book end entry point is very trite. All respect to those who served, but that movie was really weak in my opinion. And Thin Red Line is way better than Saving Private Ryan.
Opinions vary, and I certainly respect
Stacey,
yours.
you didn't get goosebumps when they all met at the gravesite at the end?
I saw both of those movies theatrically, and Saving Private Ryan at the end of it, when the house lights came up, there was a group of veterans in front of me, and they were all weeping. I mean, weeping, and it was like that alone. I'll never forget. You know, when I saw The Thin Red Line, I saw that more or less in an empty theater, and again, it's a 3-hour movie, and I had to take a piss so bad about an hour and a half into it. I damn near pissed in my empty Coke cup at one point because I didn't want to get up because I thought I would miss something, you know? I mean, oh my God.
Wow. Stacey says she got time to leave bumps.
You go, girl. Stacey's cold-blooded.
Yeah. Hey, that's totally cool. We respect you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for coming, Stacey.
All right, well, I can't wait to hear what she thinks about my pick on this one. It was nominated for 3 Oscars. It won 1, but not in Best Picture. Bluray, not even getting nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Denzel was Denzel nominated?
Yeah, Denzel was the only one that won.
He won.
Best supporting actor.
It was nominated for 3 Oscars, but how it doesn't get nominated for Best Picture is just beyond me.
Well, that's the whole Driving Miss Daisy thing again. You know, Glory should have took that year, right? Was Glory nominated?
When you go through, because I was thinking about this, Mike, and I meant to bring this up earlier. Like, they just started instituting the 10 or 9 movie rule. What was that, early 2000s, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
so I
it
was
used to just be 5.
Okay, so I was just thinking about the 5, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I can see even like 95 is probably one of the greatest, years.
95 is a good year.
Yeah. So it's like Usual Suspects wasn't even nominated for Best Picture.
I don't think Heat was either.
No. Because I have that written down. Here's your 95 Best Picture nominees. All right, and see if you agree that like any of these are better than Forrest Gump won, 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
We just did that.
Well, I'm just saying we're talking about 95.
No, that's the Academy Award date was in 95. Those movies are from 94.
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
You're welcome. And I forgive you, Kenny. I love you, man. Even if you are a dirty, rotten Eagles fan.
Wow. Such pressure. All right. Braveheart won.
Yeah.
Apollo 13, Babe, El Postino, and Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, Braveheart to me, I love Braveheart before I say anything, okay? I love Braveheart. It's a great movie. But to me, when Braveheart won, it reminded me of when Kevin Costner won for Dances with Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, here's a guy who's an actor who's been a movie star for a while, and holy shit, he can direct and direct on a big scale. Let's give him a bunch of awards, And again, I love Braveheart. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I don't think it's a better movie, so to speak, than a couple of the ones that were nominated and were not, like Heat.
Yep.
Heat's a great movie. I mean, I would rather watch Heat than Braveheart. I don't know if I would rather watch The Usual Suspects, but Usual Suspects I would definitely rather watch than Sense and Sensibility.
Oh yeah.
Don't get mad at me, Stacy.
Well, that's the big, that's the big movie, like literary. This is for, and then it's not
for
exactly
the art house crowd.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, kind of art housey, but yeah.
Because my next one is one of those. But we'll get to that when we get to it.
Go ahead, Sean, you're up.
All right. Hey, Leaving Las Vegas won Best Actor, or Nicolas Cage won Best Actor that year. That was good.
That's a pretty damn good performance too.
Yeah.
Well, there was a big push for Dreyfus to win for Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yep.
But yeah, your girlfriend won that year, Kenny, because Elizabeth Shue won that year too for Leaving Las Vegas.
Sarandon won for.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, she was.
My bad.
Elizabeth Shue was nominated.
Yeah, she was nominated, but she didn't win. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, my next one is Mickey Rourke losing Best Actor in a leading role to Sean Penn in 2009.
Yes.
For The Wrestler.
Yes.
I think Mickey Rourke for The Wrestler should have won.
Oh yeah.
Milk was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Sean Penn was great as Harvey Milk. It was a great movie, great story. But I think Mickey Rourke poured his heart and soul into The Wrestler. I think that whole movie was just, I don't know, maybe it's, it's apples and oranges. I mean, literally comparing The Wrestler to Harvey Milk. But
yeah.
I mean, two totally different movies. But I really enjoyed Mickey Rourke's performance and the fact that he really put on like a physical transformation for it and did a lot of physical work for it, and just it was really just, I think, a more of a heart and soul performance than Sean Penn. So I think that was a snub. Plus, it was more of his comeback and whatnot. But I don't know. I can see where the Academy would vote for Milk, every time. But
it was definitely a cool comeback story to see him come back so strong and do such a great performance. After some years not around. So
right.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should have been that. Yeah.
Total transparency. I haven't seen either of them.
Really?
Milk or The Wrestler.
Oh,
haven't seen either one of them.
Definitely see The Wrestler.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And I like Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
I like Mickey Rourke in Sin City. I thought he was friggin' awesome in that. But
yeah, he was. He was good in that.
He is. He's awesome in that movie.
He is, but he's way better in The Wrestler.
I'm sure he is. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to cheat.
Uh-oh.
Because Mike already mentioned 1980 with the abomination of Raging Bull losing to Ordinary People. I almost forgot already. There's a span to me from 79, and we're talking movie releases, not the awards itself, okay? But 79 movies to 1982, where every year they got it wrong, okay?
Okay.
And I'm not going to go through all the nominations or any of that shit. But in 79, Kramer versus Kramer won. Okay. And again, go back and look at the movies that it's up against, including Being There, which that alone should have won without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Okay. You already mentioned Raging Bull. Okay. So jump forward to the next year, 1981. This is the one that really pisses me off more than any of them.
Oh, yeah.
Chariots of Fire.
Fire over Raiders.
Winning over Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
And the reason why it won at the time was because, like Mike said, it was one of those artsy films or whatever. And Raiders of the Lost Ark was considered a popcorn movie.
Yep.
And again, nothing against Chariots of Fire. It's an extremely well-made movie.
Yep.
I fell asleep watching it theatrically. I've never watched it since. Maybe if I watched it now, I would feel differently. But I guarantee I would still feel that Raiders of the Lost Ark is a superior film.
Yep.
Okay? And then just for shits and grins, let's jump forward one more year. Okay? 1982. Gandhi, which is a great movie, filled with a great performance from Ben Kingsley, all that. But it beat E.T., for one thing. Okay? And the same thing with Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's a popcorn movie. Blah, 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 blah. Jump forward 40 years, ask people, which movie do you want to watch, Gandhi or E.T.? They're going to go with E.T. every time. So that's to me is like the worst 4-year stretch as far as Best Picture. I'm not saying anything against the movies that actually won, but to me, there's not one of them that are actually deserving for what they actually got. Especially Kramer versus Kramer being there. I'm sorry that, Breaking Away was also nominated for Best Picture that year, and unfortunately, a lot of people forgot about that movie. That movie is fantastic.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, Texas did a live stream of that movie, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And 90% of the people that were there were like, I've never even heard of this movie. And I'm quoting lines and shit from the chat because I remember seeing it at the drive-in. And again, I haven't seen that movie in 40 years, but I remember it so well because it was so good, Fucking Gandhi, outside of Ben Kingsley's performance, I couldn't tell you anything about that movie other than it was long.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. So, okay. Yeah. Sorry for my cheat.
Yeah, you rarely ever see those movies, Chariots of Fire or Gandhi, just in people's mouth, talking about them. Like,
I have another one coming up that nobody talks about.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm just picking blockbusters over these art films, because I don't mean to be doing that. I mean, like earlier when I was bitching about Out of Africa, and I said Back to the Future, for instance, should have been nominated. Okay. I'm sorry. It's just, to me, a lot of the time the Academy has their own head up their own ass, and they're just trying to go for the prestige stuff as opposed to quality overall. I mean, just because something makes $150 million doesn't make it a bad movie.
Right.
I mean, if anything, maybe it made $150 million for a reason.
Yeah, sometimes good movies make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, unfortunately, really good movies don't make anything at all.
Yeah, more often
because
than not.
my recommendation of the week is The Perfect. If you looked up movies that got screwed at the box office in the dictionary, my recommendation of the week would be The Picture in the Book. So we'll get to that when we get to it.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think it's my turn. That year, I'm gonna talk about. I think since you brought up '82 Oscars, that was a good year. I mean, Henry Fonda won, and then they gave the Best Actress to Catherine Hepburn.
Golden Pond.
But Susan Sarandon lost out to
Catherine Hepburn.
Catherine Hepburn, yeah.
Oh, for Atlantic City?
Yeah, Atlantic City, yeah. Or even Burt Lancaster was nominated for Best Actor, but Henry Fonda, took it. Yeah.
Goddamn dog.
He's very critical of stuff.
He's supporting you.
Yeah.
Saying, you go, Daddy.
Yeah, I don't know if I said anything out of that, but I don't know. It was good to see Henry Fonda win. I mean, he should have been. Was he nominated for Once Upon a Time in the West? I can't remember.
I know he was nominated for The Grapes of Wrath way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he was nominated for 12 Angry Men, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It would have been cool to see Burt Lancaster.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a good year for actors and actresses, I guess.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah, that's all I have for that.
Okay.
No, those are good.
I'm looking at the nominees for that year. That was very good. Actor, you called them out. Fonda, Warren Beatty, Burt Lancaster, Dudley Moore for Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That's such a great role.
Yeah.
Paul Newman for Absence of Malice. And then the actresses were Katharine Hepburn, Diane Keaton for Reds, Marsha Mason for Only When I Laugh, which I don't remember at all.
Neil Simon movie, not very good.
Okay. Susan Sarandon for Atlantic City, and Meryl Streep for The French Lieutenant's Woman for her annual nomination.
She could do a commercial for Ajax, and she'd get an Oscar nomination for it.
Probably.
She won't win.
She's a great actress. Don't get me wrong. I love her.
No, I totally agree with you.
She's great.
She's great, but just because she's in a movie doesn't mean she absolutely is guaranteed a nomination. I mean, she usually gets a guaranteed nomination, but I mean,
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say she's not everything she does is automatically great.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about Arthur. I mean, man, I loved Arthur when I was a kid growing
Yeah.
up. And I mean, that is a good. I mean, he plays a drunk guy mostly all through the movie, and then Sir John Gilger.
John Gielgud is awesome in that movie.
Yeah, as his butler
He's
and friend, just. But I don't know. That was a tough year, kind of, sort of, for different categories. But
yeah. Gilgood won the Oscar for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Yeah.
Since you just mentioned Dudley Moore playing the drunk, and he was nominated, here's my hot take of the night. And before I begin, he's awesome in Arthur, and I love Arthur. It's a great movie. Okay, he played a better version of that in 10.
Yeah.
There's a scene in 10 where he gets surgery, and then he's drunk and taking pills, and he's all fucked up for like the next 20 minutes of the movie. And it's some of the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life. It still brings me to tears every time I watch that movie. It is so good.
The one that still cracks me up with 10 is when he's going into the bedroom and he's flipping on and the disco light drops down. And
That's foul play.
Dancing.
That's foul play.
That's foul play?
That's foul play with Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, that's the beginning of foul play.
No, 10 is where he's looking at the telescope across the way.
Oh, yeah.
And his buddy across the way having orgies and shit.
Okay, foul play.
He's all drunk and he knocks himself down a hill. It's great. But yeah, foul play is with Dudley Moore. He's got a very small part, but that's the scene. That's a very iconic scene that you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
It's all right.
All right.
10 I've only seen like once. I need to search that out and watch it again. I haven't, because I like Blake Edwards. He's done some pretty cool movies. Pink Panther series.
Oh, the Pink Panther movies. Yeah.
10, SOB, Victor Victoria. I mean, those are all great movies.
Victor Victoria is a great movie.
Skin Deep is even a decent movie.
Yeah.
John Ritter is actually very good in that movie.
Yeah. You remember the big controversy with that scene and everything?
Yeah, with the glow in the dark condoms.
Yeah.
When I watched it, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was so.
It's a funny scene. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
I think I did back on HBO a long time ago.
It's a comedy drama. Okay. So it's not one of those movies that's consistently funny, but when it is funny, oh my God, it's hysterically so. And John Ritter, that's probably his best performance. He's fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to search that one out.
It's available on Blue really cheap. I got it on Blue about a year ago. It's a catalog title.
Okay, cool.
Check that out too.
Yeah, SOB and Victor Victoria are on the Warner Archive title or line, and 10, I believe, is a catalog title as well. Because I've got all, I got them all. I love them all.
Awesome. I've seen Victor Victoria. SOB, I can't remember. I probably saw it. That was back when I saw 90% of the movies I saw on HBO, so I probably saw it. But
SOB is probably most famous for being the movie that Julie Andrews shows her boobs.
Yeah. Okay.
And they even make that a joke in the movie. I'm going to show my boobies because she's all drugged and shit. I mean, it's pretty damn funny.
She was married to Blake Edwards.
Yeah.
So she was in it. I had that movie on Laserdisc. And I just remember it when I was a kid, like, it was like, take this job and shove it, and like,
holy shit.
I don't know. It's like, maybe it was when
I haven't thought of that movie in years until you said it. Wow.
Yeah, it was like those movies, they just kept showing, and I guess I was recording it as my first movie thoughts or something. I've always...
Take this job and shove it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I saw that at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny.
All right, mine kind of leans on your The Last Emperor winning Best Picture over Broadcast News for me.
Yeah, there's some other good movies that year too.
I have it prompted up, as a matter of fact. Last Emperor beat Broadcast News, Fatal Attraction, Hope and Glory, and Moonstruck.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the two major ones that were not nominated that year. Wall Street and Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Weren't even nominated.
You know why?
Why?
Good Morning Vietnam was considered simply a Robin Williams vehicle. It was the first movie that let him be him while playing a character. Okay, and that's why he was nominated for Best Actor. And Barry Levinson might have been nominated for Best Director. I don't remember. And as far as Wall Street goes, again, that movie that movie was considered more of a Michael Douglas star vehicle in Oliver Stone, and it was more of an indictment on the Reagan years during the Reagan years. If that movie would have came out after the Reagan administration, it probably would have swept up all the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was kind of a controversial movie at the time. A lot of people don't remember that. But Michael Douglas was so damn good in that movie. That's why he got, and I don't remember if Oliver Stone, did he win Best Director for that?
Nope. You ready? Bernardo
Bertolucci for Last Supper. Okay.
Yep. Here's the nominees for director. Bertolucci, who won. John Boorman for Hope and Glory. Norman Jewison for Moonstruck. And Lasse Hallström for My Life as a Dog.
Okay. Well, outside of Hallström, all of those are American icons. So I can understand why they all got nominated. And Lasse Hallström was considered one of the greatest European directors of his generation. So I can kind of see that too.
And
but yeah, I agree with you.
And also not get nominated was The Untouchables.
Well, that was the year before, wasn't it?
Nope, same year. Because Connery won Best Actor.
Oh, yeah, that was 87. You're right.
And the score, Ennio Morricone won for the musical score that year. For the film.
Damn right, too, because that musical score kicks ass.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's one of his better ones. And really great ones.
Yeah. I mean, back then, I really liked Hope and Glory a lot. I thought that movie kind of
good movie.
That was an HBO movie. Like, they just showed it. So, I don't know. And Moonstruck, I remember they made a big deal about that all the time.
Yep.
Just,
that was the one that's proved people that Cher could act.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, she had been in movies before that. She had some acclaimed roles, and we're going to get to her in a little bit.
Too, Jim.
I know. But like I said, she was still considered, kind of like a pop star. Was that like a one-hit wonder? Even though she's terrific in Mask. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Mask is actually another one I could have thrown in for 85.
Yep.
For a movie that could have been nominated. I mean, that's a terrific movie.
That's a great movie.
And she's great in it, Yep. But that was really, Moonstruck was really Cher's coming out party. I mean, it really was. All right. All right, boss.
All right. This goes as a snub and a surprise. Roberto Benigni winning Best Actor in a Leading Role over Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan, and Ian McKellen in Gods and Monsters, who I actually thought should have won.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great in that.
Yeah. That I remember that's one of the ones that I thought of is one of the movies that you think of. It was huge at the time. Everybody was talking about that movie, Life is Beautiful, and now nobody talks about it. It's one of those movies that everybody is sort of like embarrassed to
it hasn't aged well.
It hasn't aged well, and everybody sort of thinks like, "Ooh, I was really caught up in that." I saw it theatrically. Yeah, Victor says I can only see Benigni wobbling on the chairs.
Yeah,
I think that. They did.
Yeah, Sophia Loren.
Yeah,
I think they were trying to have a crossover to Hollywood with him because
they were pushing him.
Didn't really go over very well, and
right?
Didn't hear about him anymore.
Well, then he did Pinocchio, and then landed flat on his face. And Stacy says he was a deserving winner. I trust me. I think the movie was a great movie. It probably comes across as extremely schmaltzy and manipulative now, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. Again, Saving Private Ryan.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I think that's one of Tom Hanks' best performances.
He was great in that. And then Ian McKellen, which is my, an underdog pick because Gods and Monsters.
He's fantastic in that too.
Is a movie that I mentioned, and a lot of people are like, "What? I don't remember that movie. What's that about?"
Brendan Fraser was good in that too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he was fantastic. Yeah. That's a great movie, and some people don't even know what it's about. They never heard of it. And if you don't know what it's about the director James Whale, and his relationship with, I think his groundskeeper,
He was like, yeah, the pool boy,
the pool boy type thing, or whatever. But it's a great movie, and it channels old Hollywood, and a lot of the I don't know, prejudices of the time, which are seeming to be coming back. But I don't see Benigni beating out McAllen or Hanks. So that's my pick from '99.
You know why I watched Gods and Monsters for the first time? Had nothing to do with who was in it or who was attached or anything. I knew that Clive Barker was a producer of it.
No shit.
And that's what originally drew me to it, because I'm a Clive Barker fan. And then I was like, wow, this isn't a horror movie at all. And then I realized that it was about James Whale. So I was like, okay, now. And then I don't want to give anything away, but as the movie goes more into it, the connection came more and more clear. And it was like, okay, I could totally see why he would be involved with this.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a really good movie, Sean.
Yeah, I was drawn to it because it was about James Whale, and it was the fact that he directed a lot of the Frankenstein movies and stuff. So and I saw it theatrically. Which was really cool, and it was packed when I saw it, believe it or not. So that was good.
Nice.
That's a movie. Yeah, a lot of people don't think about it much.
I don't even know. Can you get it on Blu-ray?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been trying to.
I have a DVD of it.
You have a DVD? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say I know it's on DVD, but I don't know. I've never actually looked, to be honest.
Because I looked.
I kind of forgot
ago,
about that movie, to be honest, until you brought it up, and then it was like,
yeah, I'm gonna take a look.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm up.
Yep.
Okay, after all this ranting and raving and bitching about snubs, part of our little headline was surprises.
Yes.
And one of the biggest surprises this year, obviously, not so much Demi Moore being nominated, but The Substance being nominated for Best Picture was a huge surprise. And I'm glad. I love that movie. We're going to talk about that off the air more, but yeah, because you said when I saw it, you wanted to talk to me about it. It's like, oh yeah, man. But there have been some surprises through the years that have left a smile on my face. And first when they were nominated, but especially when they won, two different ones, and they were both for comedies, and I couldn't believe either one of them won. Marissa Tomei for My Cousin Vinny was a total shock. Okay. And more importantly, Kevin Kline for A Fish Called Wanda, because I absolutely love both of them. And I think Kevin Kline's performance in A Fish Called Wanda is one of the funniest ones in the 80s. It's just so pitch perfect.
Yep.
And comedy, like horror, doesn't get enough love at the Academy. Much less if somebody in a comedic role gets nominated, that's the award. And in that case, they both won. So both of those, I would say, would be pleasant surprises as far as Oscars go. And there's Texas doing your work for you there, Sean.
Yep. Thank you, Texas. I will check it out. No, I totally agree with that one. Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to some surprises as well. So I've got quite a few.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yep, your turn.
I'm going to bring up one last snub that I thought about earlier. Was William Dafoe in Shadow of the Vampire.
Yes.
I always, every time I think of Gods and Monsters, I think of Shadow of the Vampire because they're kind of like Hollywood movies and stuff. He was so good as Max Schreck, the original Nosferatu movie. So it's showing them like filming it and what went on, and they kind of made it feel like was he really this person, or was he an actor in makeup? And they never really tell you, and it's kind of cool. Pretty cool movie. It's got a lot of atmosphere and stuff in it though, and a lot of people don't think about it. And Defoe is really good in that. He's one of my favorite actors. He just does so much different stuff over the years. And I forgot about that until you said Gods and Monsters.
Malkovich is great in that movie too.
Oh yeah, it's the director. Yeah.
Yep. The only thing I don't like about that movie is the way it ends, but I love that movie.
Yeah.
All right, I have one last snub, And this is 1960, and it is Anthony Perkins for Psycho.
Yeah.
Not getting nominated.
That's the horror movie thing again.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, you look at the nominees that year. Burt Lancaster won for Elma Gantry, Jack Lemmon, The Apartment, Laurence Olivier, The Entertainer, and Spencer Tracy in Hard to Win.
Yeah.
Well, and Hitchcock too. He was always snubbed. He never won.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, Scorsese and Spielberg before those two. Very popular director, very critically acclaimed director, got no love from his peers.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was so synonymous with movies, even back then with the TV show and all that and stuff, and it's still, I don't know, they snubbed him, I guess.
Yep.
I think he got an honorary one later on.
Yeah.
Before he moved on.
Well, that was like Peter O'Toole got a honorary one too.
Yeah, he was nominated like 8 times or some shit before that.
Yeah, it's always sad they bring them out and they give them that, and then they right before they die. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
You would have thought about me 20 years ago or something, And
yeah.
that was being out there.
This year they did that with Samuel L. Jackson. And that's kind of the joke he made. He's like, I ain't dead yet. Why are you giving me that?
I'm not ready to retire or die or something.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one. I just realized this. I went back and looked at that. I never realized this because admittedly, I do not go back and look at the Academy Awards nominees for back in the 60s very often, but they used to have Academy or nominations for cinematography, separate nominations for cinematography in black and white and color.
Mm.
And
Texas,
costume
I agree
design.
with you. He should have won that year.
They had nominations for costume design in black and white and in color, 5 each. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that. Maybe you did. I did not.
The more you know.
The more you know. All right. All right. Well, I'll throw another snub out there because you actually mentioned it. Samuel L. Jackson for losing Best Actor for Pulp Fiction.
Supporting
Best actor in a supporting role, rather, to Martin Landau for Ed Wood, which I love.
Yeah.
It's a great role. It's a great acting performance. But the fact that he's never been nominated again.
That's the real snub.
That's the snub. Yeah.
I think that's why they're giving him the lifetime achievement thing now,
Yeah, he got that, but he's never been nominated for anything else.
Yeah.
That's the real snub. So that's my last snub for the time being. But yeah, totally agree. Sam Jackson should have gotten more than just an achievement award. Jungle Fever, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if ever there was a year for a tie, that would be the year.
Yeah.
Because Landau is great. He really is great as Bela Lugosi. He really is. But that is, without a doubt, Samuel L. Jackson's best performance, in my opinion. And that was one of those performances that just, before that, he had popped up here and there. I mean, Coming to America, Jungle Fever, but that movie just propelled him into the stratosphere where it was like, who is this guy? You know? And it's the little quiet moments in that movie where he's most effective. Everybody talks about the scene where he's doing the speech where Frank Whaley's in the chair and he shoots him, great anger. But when he repeats that speech in the diner to Tim Roth very quietly, to me, it's more chilling in that moment. It just says, "You're the weak, and I'm the just shepherd." I mean, it's so good. Yeah. Good call, Sean.
Yep. Which one of these is your wallet? One that says "bad motherfucker."
Yeah, that movie is. Don't get me going on Pulp Fiction again. We'll be here all night. That's all I'll be talking about.
All right.
Okay. I just had one in my head, and then we started talking about Pulp Fiction, and it went. So let me regather my thoughts here for a second. Hey, Mike, why don't you go ahead and I'll come back.
Okay. I'll just bring up a quick snub. I guess I'm stuck on snubs, but the 1948 Oscars, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, the great Humphrey Bogart movie, got snubbed for Hamlet, which
Yes.
kind of shows you that that movie, they want to make it an Oscar movie. Like, this is Shakespeare, and this is what we should be celebrating. And it was different then, and. But yeah, that should have won. I mean, the red shoes and a bunch of stuff was, everything. So, I just threw that out there. I was just thinking. I was looking back at other years.
Okay, yeah. Now I found it. I'm sorry.
You found it? Good.
Yes, I did. And this one's going to be pretty. I don't know how well known this movie is, but this is going to be the only foreign movie that I discuss on this show. And it's from 2002, City of God. It was up for 4 Oscars, okay, including Best Director, but it was not nominated for Best Picture or Best Foreign Language Picture.
Oh, it wasn't even nominated for Best Foreign Language?
No.
Wow.
It was up for Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, and Best Editing, but it was not up for Best Foreign Language Picture. And I don't even know what won that year. Okay, that would have been the 2003 awards, all right? But anybody who has ever seen City of God will agree that movie's a masterpiece.
I've heard that. It's on my watch list of movies to watch, and it played at my theater, and I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It played at my theater, and I didn't watch it. We had it for 1 week on the smallest screen we had, and the first reel was actually out of order.
Oh, geez.
And nobody complained until Thursday because 8 people came to see that movie the entire week, and it was on Thursday, the day that I was taking it apart.
Yep.
And I didn't really know much about it. And then when Siskel and Ebert were doing their top 10 lists that year, one of them had it on their top 10.
Wow.
And I was like, really? I had that movie and I never watched it. So I rented it from Blockbuster and immediately started kicking myself in the ass. It is a great movie.
I've got to get that on my watch list for this year.
It's if you're wondering what it's about, it's from Brazil, and it's about, you follow the lives of 3 kids. The movie starts off, it jumps back and forth, okay, but it's not confusing. It starts off in the late 60s and it ends in the late 70s, okay, but you start off with these kids when they're like 8 years old, and they're in the slums of Rio de Janeiro, and they're basically robbing people left and right and doing this and doing that. And you follow these characters as they age and what happens to them. And my God, there's some scenes in that movie that are just unbelievably brutal. You're just like and they used like real children from the neighborhoods to film. So you're seeing like 10-year-olds running around with guns, shooting people and shit. And it's just, but it's not exploitative at all. It's just,
right.
It's an incredible movie. It's check it out. That should have been my recommendation of the week, but I wanted to bring it up tonight because, again, how do you get nominated for Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography, and Best Editing, and you're not up for Best Foreign Language Film?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
So, yeah, City of God. Check it out.
Yeah. I've known about it. I've just never seen it.
Yeah, it's one of those that's been on my list forever, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But
I mean, it is in foreign language. It's in Portuguese because it's from Brazil, but it's an amazing film. It really is. I can't get my mom to watch it because it's in subtitles and there's no English dub.
Yeah.
And I'm running out of movies for her, and I'm like, Mom, I've got so many great movies on my shelf that don't have a shitty dub. And you watch movies with the closed captioning anyway, so what's the goddamn difference?
Right.
I have a surprise here.
All righty.
And Mr. Dan, you're talking about this, The Last Emperor. I'll have to give it another watch.
It is a good movie.
All right. But it just didn't do anything for me back in 1987 when I seen it. So I will watch that again, Mr. Dan. My surprise, and I love this actress. You guys, if you know me, you know I love
comes
this
Sandra.
actress. No, it's not. It's not Sandra. Damn it, she should have won for the net. No, it's Juliette Binoche beating Lauren Bacall. in 1997. Juliette Binoche won for An English Patient, Best Supporting Actress.
And what was Lauren Bacall up for?
I don't remember. I had it written down, but my pen ran out of ink.
The Mirror Has Two Faces.
Mirror Has Two Faces with Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Yep.
I had Babs movie. Right beside it. Instead of writing Mirror Has Two Faces like a stupid idiot. But me and Stacy are not getting along tonight. That was another one with the English Patient. I literally fell asleep, and I love Juliette Binoche. I'll sit and watch any movie she's in because I think she's, next to Sandra, one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen in my life. But holy hell, that movie was boring.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites.
No,
and I don't think I've ever seen
English
The Mirror Has
Patient.
Two Faces.
I was going to say that's one of the most like overhyped movies.
Thank you.
Oh Jesus!
My favorite is Sandra Bullock, so you can't talk shit on Sandra.
Dennis Miller should have been nominated for The Net.
The Net is a massive guilty pleasure of mine. It's so dated, but Sandra's great in it for sure.
And we were just talking about this the other day with in church about it. That was the first movie that I actually remember that you could go through a computer and order a pizza.
Oh, really?
Remember when she ordered the pizza on the computer on AOL and Messenger?
Yeah.
See, that's the stupid things I think about. But
That's
that was
the high point of the film.
I know it's not the point; it's the identity theft kind of thing. I was talking to a cop at the time during with it too in church. He's a cop, so it was kind of funny. But yeah, it was like he even brought that up. He goes, "You know, it's about identity theft and all that." I'm like, "Yeah, but you can order a pizza." You know. See, shit like that goes like right through my head. So yeah. So you're up, Sean.
Okay. All right. I have my surprise was Kathy Bates winning Best Actress in a Leading Role for Misery.
Yeah.
Back in 1991. We've been talking about horror movies and how they've been overlooked, but the fact that she won that back then was pretty amazing. And let me take a look at the competition she had back then. She went up against Angelica Houston for The Grifters, Julia Roberts for Pretty Woman, Meryl Streep from Postcards from the Edge, and Joanne Woodward from Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. So, and she was great in that movie, in Misery. I mean, there's no doubting that, but I'm just surprised that she got nominated and won for that kind of role.
That was
back then.
Julia was like on a roll.
Yeah, Julia was on a hot streak back then. So you would think that the popular, popularity contest would have gotten her at least somewhere. And Stacy said that, Angelica Houston was the presumptive favorite entering that night. Yeah, Kathy Bates won. That was my surprise. So.
Yeah, we all seen The Grifters, right? Everybody's seen The Grifters.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think Annette Bening was better than Angelica in that?
No, I think they were both equally great in that movie.
Okay.
So was Cusack. I think that's one of Cusack's best roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, Jim.
Alrighty. As far as surprises go, I was pleasantly surprised at the time. Now, I don't know if it still holds up because, I don't remember what it was up against. But when Return of the King won for The Lord of the Rings, I was really happy about that because it kind of like with Samuel L. Jackson and Peter O'Toole, you could say that was an achievement Oscar because he filmed all three of those movies, back to back to back.
Yeah.
And it basically was just one gigantic movie,
Right.
But I was really happy to see Peter Jackson and them win those Oscars because, again, look where that guy started from. If you would have told me 30, 40 years ago that the guy that did Dead Alive would go on to direct that
Exactly
and win that amount of Oscars and shit, I never would have believed it. I mean, I kick ass for the Lord, really, you know, to that, you know. And again, he hasn't done anything since that that's really connected with me, like the Lord of the Rings. But those three movies, like I said, it's just one big project to me. And even if it was just an achievement Oscar, it doesn't matter. I was really, really happy when Return of the King won. So that'll be my last surprise, I guess. It's 7:30 already, so, or 8:30 rather for you guys. Yeah, me too, Victor. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Oh, that was a great achievement. Yeah, that was. I mean, he was nominated for the first one, The Fellowship. They didn't win on The Fellowship, but then they got Return. So I think that's good. You know, I think Return of the King and yeah, because that was
all three of them were nominated for Best Picture, but Return of the King, you know, won. So
it's like the crown jewel of the trilogy.
Yeah.
And it probably is the best of the three too. So
yeah.
I guess my thing, 2022 Top Gun Maverick was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, that surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean that made such a dent. Nobody was expecting all the business it was going to do and all this, and it was a fan favorite, and it went to the Oscars and stuff. So it's like, oh, that was a surprise. I don't know.
I remember at the time being surprised, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? That movie saved Hollywood. So of course they nominated it for Best Picture.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and then the next year, you know, Oppenheimer wins, which was another big budget, you know, good Hollywood moneymaker, you know, and Barbie and all that year. So
yeah, Barbie, I would have been more surprised if Barbie won.
Yeah.
All right, my last snub is 1958 movie Orson Welles in Touch of Evil. Not getting nominated.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah, he got this in Citizen Kane and Magnificent Amberson.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great movie.
That's such a great movie, and he's so good in that.
He is, yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't look, and I should have looked. Now that I'm talking about it, but the cinematography in Touch of Evil is great with the shadows, and it's just I recently just watched that again Monday, and yesterday. Ugh. So I just watched that, and I like looked up everything about that, and it was just like it was a great movie. Really good.
Yeah, and they used I think they used handheld cameras a lot.
Yeah.
Which they, that wasn't a thing yet, until the 70s, and then a lot of people started using handheld and stuff. So. But yeah, it should have been. Yeah, it should have got something. They should have, because he always got snubbed also. So.
Yeah, well, I think because of the whole thing with the blacklisting and all that stuff, and it's just a shame.
Well, he also had a reputation of being difficult, so I'm sure a lot of that had a lot to do with it,
Yeah.
Great call, Kenny.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good.
You're up, Sean.
All righty. I'm going to do one from this year. It's a surprise. It's going to probably rankle some people if they're, the art house crowd or whatever. But my surprise is that Amelia Perez got 13 nominations, but I don't know a single person who's seen it.
Yeah, I haven't.
I don't know anybody that's seen it. It's on Netflix, which means it's available to everybody that I, a lot of people that I know, nobody's seen it. And I just canceled Netflix, so I'm not going to watch it. But yeah. So
you always go the Hong Kong route.
Well, yeah, I could, but I'm not gonna bother. I don't know. I just there's movies like that every year where you've got a movie that gets nominated for a shit ton of Academy Award nominations, but I don't know anybody that's seen it. And then I'll go out on a limb and see it. Roma is one. I think it was one year that got a ton of nominations for including Best Picture, and it was a Netflix film, and I had trouble getting through that. It took me 2 nights to get through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can see it from an artistic perspective that this is, you know, an artsy movie, but in terms of being able to enjoy it, it's not doing anything for me. So, you know, and I don't know, just nominating something for art's sake, that doesn't do it for me. And Amelia Perez may be a great movie. I don't know anything about it.
I know what it's about, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. What's it about even?
Yeah, tell us. I don't know it either.
It's about the lead actress is a trans person. Okay. That's the first thing you need to know in real life. Okay.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Okay.
So the storyline, it's about a person who's a cartel leader of some kind who wants to get out of the cartel and does so, but then transitions into a woman.
Okay.
And it's about that story, and I think it's even got some musical numbers in it and such. It's not what the description I'm making, I'm sure, is not the tone of the movie. It's just what I've read and heard through the grapevine and such. Zoe Saldana's in it. She was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress in it.
Okay.
The only thing I've heard about it, basically, other than it being a Netflix movie, is just about everybody that I've heard online or on the radio or whatever basically says it's a decent movie, but it's nothing special.
Yeah.
So, and some people are just, up in arms because there's a trans person up for Best Actress, and I don't give a shit about any of that,
I don't
so
care about that
whatever.
either.
But it's not something that I'm rushing out to see, and I do have Netflix, but.
To answer Mr. Dan's question about Robert Mitchum was not nominated for Night of the Hunter or Cape Fear. He was nominated for Story of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I knew he wasn't nominated for Night of the Hunter, which that was also on my list originally, and I forgot about it.
Yep.
But let me ask you this before we start changing the topics. There's 7 movies up for Best Picture this year, or 8?
Let's take a look.
I think.
How many have you guys actually seen? Because I've only seen 2.
Of the Best Pictures?
Yes.
How many?
They can nominate up to 10, but I don't think they did this year.
I thought it was 10.
It might be.
There's 10.
Oh, there is 10? Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen 2. I've seen Dune, and I've seen The Substance.
Okay, they're the only 2 I've seen.
You've only seen 1?
Yep.
Wow. How about you, Mike?
1, 2, Dune, Part 2.
So
I want to see The Substance. I just haven't got to it yet, but yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't see The Substance until a couple of nights ago, and I watched it twice already.
I actually want to see The Brutalist.
Yeah, that's I've heard a little bit about that one. I might check that out. But
the 4-hour runtime is kind of daunting on that.
Oh, it is 4 hours? Wow.
Yeah, it's got an intermission in the middle of it.
Anora is the one that appeals to me. I want to see that.
Yeah, I do want to see Anora.
Yeah.
And there was another one that kind of intrigued me, but I don't remember what it is.
All right, here's the Best Pictures, Jim. You ready? Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown. That's the Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan.
Conclave.
That's the other one I want to see.
Okay. Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys. What the hell is that? The Substance, and Wicked. That's for Jim. Wicked.
Yeah. No, thank you. But I do want to see Conclave. I heard that one's really good.
Yeah, I want to see that one too.
I think that's on streaming. Conclave.
I think it's on Peacock. I think
it is on Peacock.
Yeah, I don't have Peacock, so.
Yeah. Victor said Wicked was shockingly a great movie.
Oh wow!
I'm no fan of musicals, but I loved it. My wife saw Wicked and she loved it.
I'm not a fan of musicals, and I absolutely detest The Wizard of Oz. So I am not for Wicked.
I didn't see Wicked the movie. I saw Wicked the
play,
stage production or whatever. Yeah, the play, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
my niece has seen it too.
Yeah, and I'm not a big musical person either.
Because my one niece, the oldest one, she's seen the original one with Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how far back she's seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister saw it with my niece, and they both loved it. But it's definitely not my thing. I'm sure it's.
I think that's more.
I'm sure it's a good movie. It's
it's
not
probably
my thing.
a chick movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already done like 2 movies about Bob Dylan in his own lifetime. They did I'm Not There or Before, right?
Yeah, remember the one with Tilda Swinton playing Bob Dylan?
Yeah,
There was like a whole bunch of them.
There was like a whole bunch of different people that played him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was one of them.
Speaking of, that was one that I completely forgot about too. Tilda Swinton. That's somebody that should be up for an Oscar just about every goddamn year.
Yeah.
And the first thing that pops into my head is Snowpiercer. She's phenomenal.
Yeah,
in Snowpiercer.
yeah, absolutely. Great movie. There was a movie. Oh shit! What the hell was it called? I want to say Orlando, but I don't think that's the name of it. It might be. I'll have to look it up. What is it?
Was it Orlando Bloom?
No.
No, that's Legolas from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Orlando. She was.
There was a movie called Orlando. I know that.
Yeah.
Billy Zane. Yeah.
No.
Tilda Swinton and Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Not Orlando.
Yeah. That's the movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah, what happened to that Brando movie? Did that get pushed back that Zane wasn't nominated? Because that was my Oscar pick in the house last year when I seen stills for that coming out. Is that coming out this year?
Probably.
Okay. Because they had talked about it coming out because I shared it with all you guys, the stills of Zane as Brando.
I haven't heard anything about that recently. I saw the trailers and then nothing. I thought that was coming out around Easter time.
Oh, okay.
But I'll check on it.
He's still in the clubhouse for best actor. the transformation in the trailer, it was like unbelievable.
Waltzing with Brando.
I remember a couple of years ago, people were saying that about John Travolta and Gotti.
Yeah.
How'd that turn out?
Look how that landed up.
Well, some people were talking about that, like I was with, and I'm not a big fan of his, River Phoenix and Joaquin Phoenix in Napoleon.
Yeah, see, I still haven't seen that.
Neither have I. But
Waltzing with Brando was released on January 7th.
So it's probably an art house movie or direct to streaming, or
I guess. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it came out. It went to a film festival, Palm Springs Film Festival, on January 7th, and then it appeared at another film festival on January 10th. So it has not had a wide release yet. It's just been touring film festivals. So
trying to get a distributor, probably.
Yep.
It's got an 8.2 on IMDb too.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, if you want to go guilty pleasure Oscar pick, how about Billy Zane and Demon Knight? Because that's one of my favorite performances ever.
That's a good one. He's
awesome in that movie, man.
He is. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
Oh, man. All right. Well, it is 8:44. It is time to get into our movie recommendations. Mike, did you pick one for this week?
Let's see here. I do have one.
Okay. Well,
I think
we'll give you a chance.
This is from the 70s, and I wasn't aware of it. I like Warren Oates a lot and stuff. And this came out on Kino Blu-ray not long ago.
Okay.
Oh, is that what I think it is? Oh, okay.
The White Dawn.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
No, I haven't seen
it. It's pretty cool because they where they filmed it, they used like real. They were like Inuit people, like Eskimo, and like real people interacted with them and stuff. It was pretty cool. But you don't hear much about it. But yeah, I picked that up. It's got Lou Gossett Jr. in it and Timothy Bottoms, and it's kind of a cool release. It's got dual artwork and stuff. So yeah, it was kind of a blind buy. I just thought I'd get it because of Warren Oates and stuff, and it came out in 1974. So he There was a lot of good movies that year, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
You know? It's a definite snow movie. If you're wanting to watch something, snow movie or something, that's definitely
Cold weather movie.
cold weather.
Yeah.
You fooled me there for a second, Mike, because when you said that it was a 1974 Kino release with Warren Oates, I thought for sure you were going to say, "Bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia." That movie's phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a Sam Peckinpah movie, which I own, and yeah, that's a great movie. But yeah, the one that you picked, that's a good deep cut. I haven't thought of that movie in years.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
No, Warren. I went on a Warren Oates deep dive a couple of years ago because I love Warren Oates, and yeah, it's not top tier, but it's definitely anything he's in is watchable. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
Awesome, good pick. All right, Jim, you want to go?
No, go ahead, Kenny.
Okay, mine is also available on Tubi, and after watching this on Tubi, I proceeded to buy it, and it's called Gorky Park.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
With William Hurt and Lee Marvin is fantastic in this.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't realize he was in that. I might
oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's $12.59 on Amazon right now.
Really cool.
I picked it up. And the girl that I want to spotlight in this, and I can't believe she wasn't a bigger star. This is from 1983. Joanna Pacula. Pacula, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
beautiful
Pacula,
woman.
Beautiful girl. And, man, this is probably one of William Hurt's best acting roles.
He's good at it.
He's very good. I mean, he was good in Kiss of the Spider Woman, too, when he won the Oscar. But I thought he was great in this movie too. But
William Hurt's one of those actors that's great in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, Kenny. I'm going to have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a watch. That's really a good one.
That was one of those cable movies for me when I was a kid that I watched quite a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good movie. Good movie,
yeah,
Kenny.
Stacy, Marked for Death.
Marked for Death.
Steven Seagal, yeah. She plays his wife for the first 5 minutes.
All right. Jim, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. Okay, now we've been talking snubs and all that good stuff. And not only was this movie snubbed at the Oscars, but that year was pretty stacked for Oscars, so I'm not going to go. But we're talking about 1977. But as far as getting just destroyed at the box office, never had a chance because this movie, unfortunately, had the distinct misfortune of being released a week after a little tiny movie you guys might have heard of called Star Wars. And I'm talking about William Friedkin's Sorcerer.
Oh, yeah.
Starring Roy Scheider, Bruno Kremer, Francisco Babel, and Amadou Babar. I'm butchering that guy's name, so I'm not even going to go there. But this is a remake of The Wages of Fear.
Yep.
It's got a sensational score from Tangerine Dream. And quite honestly, and again, this might be sacrilegious to an awful lot of people, it's my favorite William Friedkin film. I like it more than The Exorcist. I like it more than The French Connection. I like it more than To Live and Die in L.A. I think Sorcerer is one of the greatest suspense-inducing movies I've ever seen. One scene in particular is just, if you cannot watch that movie without breaking out into a sweat. In this one particular sequence. It's a slow burn at the beginning. It takes a while to get into. But my God, once it gets going, it does not stop. And you want to, people that follow my channel, they know I have a fascination with dark endings or dark movies. This movie's pretty goddamn dark. So my recommendation is William Friedkin's masterpiece, Sorcerer from 1977.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was going to say it's got a really good kind of a mini car chase in the beginning of it. I don't want to give anything away, but that's another kind of good car chase. Freaking movie. He's got some good ones.
Yeah, and again, once it gets going, it's just so good. Have you ever seen it, Kenny?
I have. No, I was just going to say I have that. I just ordered it. Groove had a sale. For 2 for $17, and that was one of the ones I ordered because Sean had recommended that one.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie, and again, it's one of those movies I didn't see back in the day. I remember as a kid, I saw the poster for it and saw the trailer for it, and it's got the worst title in movie history. Okay, Sorcerer. That's the name of the truck that they're one of the trucks that they're driving through the jungle. Okay, but my God, this movie is just so good. I mean, if I would have saw it when I was 10 years old, chances are I would have been bored out of my mind until it gets, towards the middle of the movie. But as an adult, like I said, if you got patience, Mike said it, there's a great action scene at the very beginning of the movie because it sets up all the different characters and such. And then there's about a good half hour to 45-minute stretch where it's just all about atmosphere and learning who these guys are and what their motivations are and such like that. It just builds. And then once they get on the little road trip into the jungle, hold on. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's funny because I don't remember how old I was, but I wasn't probably much older than 10 when I saw it for the first time.
Really?
I saw it on HBO, like I saw most movies back then, and I loved it.
That's awesome.
And I bought it on Blu-ray, and it's been sitting on my shelf, unfortunately, unwatched since I bought it, but I'm way overdue for a rewatch. It came out on Digibook, and I grabbed it. As soon as it came out, I was like, I got to get that. And I just sadly haven't watched it yet, but I loved it. I immediately grabbed it. Yeah.
It's so good.
I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, oh, this looks amazing. I have to see this. And that was just hook, line, and sinker. I went for it. So,
but again, it had the misfortune of being released, just like The Thing with E.T.
Yep.
It just happened to come out a week after this tsunami wave, and it just swept everything in its wake. Like I said, as much as I love Star Wars, I mean, because I do, Star Wars is so near and dear to my heart, but Sorcerer is it's a masterpiece. It really is.
Yeah.
I actually saw the original for years. I hadn't seen Sorcerer, and then I saw that one because and they're both good. They're both, I mean, the original does have a lot of tension in it too. But they're both just great movies. Super good.
I've got The Wages of Fear in my my watch list, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's on Criterion, I think.
Yeah, Criterion, I think, is coming back out with it on 4K in like March or something like that.
Okay.
So I may re-pick it up because I've got an old copy, DVD copy of Criterion. So I might be
nice.
Cool. All right. Well, my pick of the week is not anywhere on the tier of any of those movies at all. I usually pick something recent that I've watched that was either average or above. And I watched this movie that I've had on DVD for a little bit called Becky from 2020 with Kevin James.
Oh,
yeah.
And
not as good as
McHale.
Snow White and the Seven Samurai, though.
No. I actually watched this one. And I thought it was entertaining. It's about a teenager. Her mom died and her dad is getting remarried, and they go to this house in the woods, and Kevin James is an escaped convict. He's a Nazi, right-wing Nazi wacko dude. And he's escaped with another group of convicts, and they kind of wreak havoc at his house. And it's up to little Becky, who's, I believe, 13, to kind of take over and win the day. And there's a sequel, Wrath of Becky, that came out. And I watched the two as a double feature on a Saturday a couple weeks ago. For Saturday afternoon viewing, the two of them together is pretty fun. Again, they're not great movies, but they're entertaining. I liked Becky more than Wrath of Becky. Wrath of Becky was kind of a little more campy. But if you like gory action with a little bit of comedy in it, Becky's kind of a fun watch. So
check that out.
Behold the Becky bloodbath.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad. I picked it up on DVD for like $2 at Walmart on clearance because I was just interested to see how Kevin James was going to be as a villain. Because you've seen him as Paul Blart and King of Queens and all that stuff. But he's actually really good, and it's kind of creepy. He's really good as a villain.
Nice little cameo by Joel McHale in there as the father.
Yeah. He's actually not too bad in it. But
no, I like Joel McHale. But
yeah, he doesn't stretch for much.
He plays that Chevy Chase smartass comedy.
Yeah. But he's just the dad, and I forget who plays the mom, or not the mom, but the soon-to-be stepmom.
She was a black actress, right?
Amanda Brugel is her name. Yeah, she's pretty good. What else has she been in? Because she looks familiar. Handmaid's Tale. That's where I know her from. The TV series. But yeah, that's my pick.
Nice.
All right. Oh, we're coming a little under the wire. Stacy has been asking this in the chat, and so I will let you guys take this one. Ray Winstone, was he snubbed for the 2000 movie Sexy Beast?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yes, Ben Kingsley was nominated, rightfully so, for that movie. But Ray Winstone is just as good. And that movie's terrific. If you've never seen it, check it out. It's a terrific movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, her pick of the week also was The Limey. I've never seen The Limey.
Texas just did a live showing of that last week.
Oh, okay.
Steven Soderbergh directed that, and Terrence Stamp is the star of that. And again, excellent movie.
Yeah, I'll have to break that down.
I did a review of that back. Holy crap! When did I review that? Oh, a long time ago. Shit.
Tell them I'm fucking coming.
I reviewed that movie 24 years ago.
Holy shit.
Wow.
So you did it on release, basically.
Yeah, I reviewed it on May 7th of 2000, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5. So I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. That's why I don't remember anything. I write stuff down and then I forget it. So if you ask me if I've seen it, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if I remember if I liked it or not. But I can't tell you anything about the movie. But Terrence Stamp is great in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's worth.
That's another guy who should have been nominated, because I don't think he was nominated either for that movie. And he's another one of those guys. Career full of great performances. That's one of his best ones.
Yep.
That I've seen, anyways.
So I'll throw this in the chat if anybody wants to read. I'm sure people don't want to read on a YouTube channel, but that's my review of The Limey if you want to bother.
People don't read these days. Come on.
I know. Who wants to read? All right, guys. Well, good show tonight. Lots of good opinions, good snubs, good surprises. A lot of good stuff. Thanks, Mike, for coming on. You had the good throwback stuff. So yeah, definitely.
No problem. Anytime.
Like having your perspective. Hey, Sarah, see you in the chat.
Hey, Sarah.
I've got a new outro video this week.
So
we'll be closing with that. But definitely want to thank everybody for stopping by and who's watched us live. Everybody who's watching us on the replay, thanks for watching. As always, you can see us not only on the Movie Assault channel, but on the Talking Movies channel, which is Talking Movies 2024 on YouTube. And on the Talking Movies channel, I always forget to tell everybody this, that I always put the trailer for the movie recommendations that Kenny, Jim, and I do in that on playlists. So if you want to check out our movie recommendations, you can check out the trailer for our movie recommendations on there. So after the show, I always throw those trailers on. So check that out. So yeah.
Got to try to come up with a movie recommendation that doesn't have a trailer just to mess with you.
Thanks, Jim. Sometimes it's hard to find, but I always seem to be able to find one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're gonna go out tonight on time. We started on time. Yay!
Yay! We might know what we're doing.
We might know what we're doing
in our second year of existence.
So thanks again, everybody, for watching. And always, if you want to take us with you in the car, we are available audio-wise on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube Music. So, all right. So say goodnight, gentlemen.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Gracie.
All right. We'll see you.
See you guys.
Yep. See ya.
See you, chat.